My name is Tosing Omolaja, and you're welcome to NAFDAC and your else, where we bring you all the important information you need to know about NAFDAC. The agency is saddled with the responsibility of safeguarding our health by ensuring that the foods, drugs, cosmetics, and medical equipment made available to us are safe and wholesome. Laboratories are critical components in safeguarding the health of any nation. And as a government agency charged with these most vital mandates, NAFDAC prioritizes its laboratories and works to ensure that they measure up to the height global standard, which ranges from well-trained personnel to more advanced equipment and other necessary components required to meet the global laboratory standard. On today's edition of the program, we turn our spotlight to activities of NAFDAC's laboratories in ensuring safe, processed food in Nigeria.
NAFDAC has 7 labs spread across the country. 5 of those labs are accredited, and they have continued to be re-accredited, because it's one thing to be accredited, it's another to be re-accredited. The latest of our accredited labs is the vaccine lab. Labs are central to whatever NAFDAC is doing, because we have to test all products. Unless after we have done risk categorization, which is still in the works, so to say. But we have to test all products now. We import about 70% of our products and manufacture locally about 30%. So we don't have a choice. And that being said, the labs are extremely important. When I took this job, the equipment in the lab were outdated. Some of them were not functioning. But we got our acts together. We rearranged the way we do our budgeting. We plugged the loopholes so that money will not be gushing out. We paid our debt, which was inherited. And now we are saving money. Are we there? No. We need a lot of support from the government, from international partners in terms of equipment. But through our savings, we've been able to buy many pieces of equipment. But the thing about labs is that one equipment may be about 200 million naira, one piece of equipment. So you can now see if you have to replicate such equipment in 3 or 4 of our labs. So that is how critical the labs are. But you need equipment, you need trained staff to do all this. Why is that so important? It is important because it is the medicines that we know can work that we should be importing or manufacturing. That is what NAFDAC is all about, or part of what NAFDAC is all about, to ensure that our drugs have the quality, they are safe, and they are efficacious. Because our mission is to protect and safeguard the health of our people.
The level of certification and accreditation a laboratory possesses enhances its proficiency in products approval. NAFDAC's laboratories, in fulfilling the agency's mandates of safeguarding the health of the nation, ensures adequate testing and analysis of certifying the safety of food and medical products that are produced locally or imported into the country.
Safety is the assurance that food will not cause harm when it is prepared and or is eaten in accordance with its intended use. So it is in everyone's best interest, it's in all our best interest to ensure that we take actions to ensure that food produced is safe at all times. So all food producers have the ultimate responsibility to manage the safety of the foods that they produce, and also to build quality into their production processes to ensure that at each time, every time, food that comes out of their production processes are safe, are wholesome, and of good quality.
Most fruits are preserved by radiation, especially apple. So we monitor in this lab residues of apple, residues of these radiation. So we have a radiation unit with a Gingler counter that we use in detecting if there is excess of this radiation in the food, in the fruits. There are some other food that they preserve using chemical, especially the liquid form of food. They can use sodium benzoate. Some use citric acid directly. Some use other types of chemical preservative that are permissible and permitted, but to a certain level. So we are always on the watch for any preservative or chemicals that be added into food. The nutritional facts that was claimed to be that the product is said to have, we verify. Because if you tell us that it's calcium, that what is there is maybe carbohydrate, 60%. Most cases, it is not even they don't give us the real fat of it. But we go down to check on the claims of those people. If you claim to have fortified with vitamin A, we must test to know that there is vitamin A. If you claim that you added other water-soluble vitamin, we check to see that it is there and almost like the amount you claimed. So it's not that you just put a copy, go to another person, copy what he has as a nutritional fat, put in your own so that your own will be acceptable. We verify. And where it is not complying, we ask you to do the needful. Other areas we are looking at is on things like formaldehyde, because we know that some people, formaldehyde or formalin is used in the preservation of crops. And some people tend to claim that some individuals want to make money, want to cause food fraud by introducing formalin into their chicken and fish to make it prolonged so that it will not go spoiled. So we also are looking at monitoring formaldehyde in fish and poultry products, frozen food generally, to ensure that this does not occur. With the permission of the DG and magnanimity, carry out some survey to see that whatever frozen food is in the market, we don't go to the depot. We prefer to go to the market and do our buying. Because if we go out, if you go to the depot, you may not see them. But we keep monitoring the ones in the open market, because that is where they may probably had not sold out, decide to spray some formalin on them to preserve them, to make them look good for people to buy. We have discovered that all the frozen fruit registered by NAFDAC are fit for human consumption.
The quality management system is established here, and all the activities that we carry out, that we do in carrying out our testing, is of standard, because we are implementing and we are also working according to fulfill the standard requirement. So it has helped us in the area of making sure that our analysis are carried out following procedures, established procedures, and these procedures are official methods. So you can say that the result produced from this laboratory can stand out internationally, and that is why the accreditation, was of benefit, because it breaks barrier, when a product is being exported outside the country and it's having our test reports that will have the NAB logo. We're accredited by NAB USA. So, and have the NAB logo, it won't be questioned internationally, either with respect to the quality of the product or quality or the integrity of the result.
NAFDAC and your rails will be right back. Please stay tuned. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching NAFDAC and your health. In ensuring safe and quality food production, it is important to inspect food produce before harvest, after harvest, and during storage, so as to ensure such produce is safe and free from toxic compounds that are naturally produced by certain types of fungi known as mycotoxins.
We have various types of mycotoxin. Like the most common and is a global problem and challenge is aflatoxin. Now, in trying to look for these toxins, we need to receive source sample. We have a sample reception whereby samples are distributed to various labs. So the one that concerns us, because not all the food. We have grains, we have the nuts, we have the seasonings. So when they come, when we send the sample down to the lab, we receive them, we have analysts that will receive them. Then we check, is it the sample that we need to store? Because storage matters. These toxins can decide to grow more when they are stored wrongly. When we run this analysis, the moment we discover the toxin going to the above limit, the limit acceptable is 4 for ready to eat. We call it ready to eat because I can put my cereal on a table and I can eat it directly. I can put my peanuts in my saucer and I can eat it directly.
Before you harvest, the fungi could start growing on your food and it can introduce those mycotoxins. When you even have them safely controlled in the farm, by the time you bring them for processing and storage, if you don't store them adequately in prescribed storage facility, you can have them come there to grow because it's their food. They're looking for food. So they will start eating on those matrix, on those products. And that is where the food comes in. So my advice is that in the farm, they should try to have, get a way to protect their crops from being infested by the fungi. And during storage, they should store in appropriate and recommended storage environment.
With the level of accreditation, equipment, and well-trained personnel NAFDAC Laboratories have been able to acquire, has granted its laboratory an opportunity to participate in international chemical testing operations.
Every standard laboratory world over should have accreditation. ISO 17025 2017 accreditation. And our lab is accredited to these scopes, to about 39 scopes in this certification. And it cuts across all different areas of analysis, both quality in food as well as the safety, food safety parameters. We got this accreditation long ago and we have sustained it till today. We got the accreditation when the certification was on 17025-2015, and we sustained it and migrated successfully to 2017 conditions and criteria. But we were able to do that because we can put in analytical techniques, which with the coming of DG, Professor Ideyeye, she was able to retool the lab to the extent that we can meet with any international standards in laboratory analysis. And we are growing. By this year, we are supposed to increase our scope of accreditation because we are going into new and not too conversant areas. And so our result of analysis is recognized world over.
Right here on my left, is a brand new GC Duo FPD. We call it Duo FPD because it has two detectors. That is why we call it Duo FPD. The detectors are used for phosphorus and sulfur containing compounds. And as you can see, this is the latest Agilent GC. This product was introduced into the market last year. And we have acquired it, and it's one of the instruments we are using to analyze the samples from OPCW, Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. It's an arm of UN that is mandated to carry out the supervision of stockpiles, chemical stockpiles, of chemical weapons, biological weapons. In fact, apart from that, they decommission plants, chemical plants, and so on and so forth. They have a mandate that covers most of these chemical weapon industries, countries that manufacture those chemical weapons. Nigeria is a signatory to the convention, and as a member state, we are trying to upgrade this lab to meet international standard where we can become a designated lab. Now, in the whole of Africa, it will interest you to know that there is no designated lab that handles samples collected by OPCW from those sites where chemical weapon or biological weapon have been used. So we are working towards achieving that status so that we can also participate in analyzing samples from sites where those chemical weapons have been used. This is another instrument that also we use to analyze chemical weapon, chemicals related to the chemical weapon convention. This one, for instance, contain NCD detector, and for nitrogen mustard, we have sulfur mustard, which you can do there, and then this can do nitrogen mustard. The basic tool that is required in the analysis of chemicals that are relevant to the chemical weapon convention. This is the first place we go to, and that is the GCMS. As you can see, the GCMS is one of the recent ones. It was bought by NAFDAC almost 2 years ago, and we have been using it to analyze those samples coming from OPCW in Netherlands, and recently we also got some samples from Finland that we just released the report yesterday, and it was handy, and this is the basic equipment. After this, which is the primary technique we use here, every other instrument here will serve as a complementary technique that we can use to confirm what we have from there. This has the capacity to take almost 150 samples at once, and once you program it, is a robot. It does picking, dropping, picking, analyze, and injecting on its own. All you need to do is do your programming here. You program the instrument and tell it what it should do. Gases that we use for the instruments, and behind you here we have another sophisticated instrument that we use for this same job. Liquid chromatography coupled with mass spectrometer. It's a triple quadruple mass spectrometer, and we use it in analyzing most of these chemicals. It serves as a secondary technique that kind of complements what we do here too. And most of the chemicals we look for are not thermolabile, but right at the end of that place is our deionizing unit. It's also brand new, and we use it to generate our own deionized water, and We don't buy deionized water from anywhere. We generate our own deionized water here. And it's brand new, and we have been using it to generate deionized, not only for this lab, even for mycotoxin here, the ICP OES lab, and the vet residue lab. Almost everybody come here to pick deionized water because this tank can take up to 56 liters.
Time now for NAFDAC updates, our bulletin on NAFDAC's activities across the nation. NAFDAC DG commissions new cars for directors. The Director General, NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, has commissioned 20 Toyota Camry cars acquired by the agency for its directors. This is in fulfillment of our steadfastness in ensuring staff of NAFDAC are well equipped so as to ensure effective regulatory activities.
It's commission now.
Thank you.
The vehicles they are using now are really using them. They are not using the vehicles because the vehicles can break down at any time, and that is why we thought that it is important that our directors get vehicles that will work for them. And this is the beginning of making sure that all our staff are satisfied. We have 20 Camry sedan for our directors. You know, we have 18 directorates, 6 zonal directors, including FCT. And then we have other units that are headed by directors. But like I said, the cars they are using now are using them. We don't want that.
NAFDAC enlightens school students on its activities during excursion visits. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, welcomed students from Universal Messiah School, or Kota, and Iman Comprehensive College at their office in Oshodi during their excursion visit to the agency. The students were educated on what the agency's mandates are, as well as activities carried out by the agency.
That's it on NAFDAC Update. You've been updated.
That's our package for today. Please join us same time, same station next week for a fresh edition. In the meantime, if you have comments, complaints, or you want to report activities of fake drugs or adulterated food product peddlers, our doors are always open. You can reach NAFDAC via toll-free numbers. For inquiries, call 0700 162 3322. For complaints, call 0800 162 3322. You may also email NAFDAC at nafdac.gov.ng. If you have complaints about any form of misconduct, you can reach the Reforms Unit via email reforms@nafdac.gov.ng or call the Reforms hotlines on 0909 763 0506 or 0909 763 0507. NAFDAC, customer focused, agency minded. Remember, COVID-19 is real. Please ensure you and your family follow the safety measures as outlined by the NCDC. Stay away from crowded places as much as possible, and if you must be out there, please wear a face mask. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water, and ensure you use only NAFDAC-approved alcohol-based hand sanitizers. See you next week. Stay safe.